Well, greetings, YouTube, LMS Tactical. Hope you guys are all doing good. And in the interest of another police story, I was thinking about something. I was actually talking to a friend of mine about this subject, and I thought I'd share this because it's not only interesting, but it actually might help active duty cops anywhere in the world that have to deal with this. This is not a good subject, so if you're squeamish and you don't want to hear about gross things, dead bodies and maggots, you don't want to listen to this video. You've been warned. So, in police, for those that don't know who I am, I'm a retired Los Angeles police officer. Big deal. Just doing that for context. Actually, it was a big deal. It was one of the best times of my life, but I digress. Dead bodies. Cops throughout history have had a way, I'm sure, have had different ways of dealing with it, and there are different types of bodies. Let's be frank. A person who dies, and the cops are on scene within an hour or two, you're just dealing with whatever the carnage is, if there's carnage, somebody who dies on a super hot day or in a hot month and is locked in a small apartment for 3 weeks, that's a whole different animal, let me tell you. And that's, in terms of everything, smell, just the coroners recovering the body and transporting it. It can be pretty wild. Let me just put it that way. So, when I first came on, I did what most cops in that era did. We all had cheap cigars that we carried with us because, when you're in a big city, people are dying every night. So it's like dead bodies were not something that was unusual, whether it was murder or natural causes. So, most cops carried some cheap cigar, and if the smell at the scene was extremely awful, they might light up one of these things. I've heard other guys that would carry Vicks vapor rub and put some under their nose because the stench can be overwhelming, like just depending on what stage of decomposition this person is in. And the cigars, I think it was more psychological because to me, it smelled like a dead body mixed with cigar smoke. And so, but that was the best I knew. So I'm going to share with you cops that are still on the streets, in case you don't know this. For all I know now, this is common knowledge. But back then, this guy blew my mind. And here's how it went down. We get a possible death investigation in an apartment building somewhere in Hollywood, one of these old buildings. And when we get there, now the dead body is on the 3rd floor. I shit you not, you can smell this person from outside the apartment when you get out of the car. You're immediately like, whoa. This is like mid-June. Los Angeles is a desert. It's hot, super hot outside. And as we make our way up, man, it becomes unbearable. And that's why the people called the police that lived there, because they couldn't even get to the floor anymore. The stench was so overpowering. I don't know why they waited so long, but that's Los Angeles. So, as you get up to the apartment door, you can literally see maggots moving around, coming out from under the door. So you know what you're in for, because, I had, at that point in my career, thought I'd seen everything from green bodies to bloated bodies to floating bodies to you name. I thought I'd seen it all. This guy or girl, I think it was a guy, turned out to be the absolute worst in terms of just being in bad shape. So we make entry into this place, and there's a body laying on the living room floor. It's a small apartment, so you got like a living room, and then to the right is a kitchen with a little counter. Like a bar counter. And so this dude, I just remember very clearly, there was a lamp laying on the floor, and the body was laying on the floor. But you couldn't tell for $1 million whether this was a man, a woman, black person, white person, Chinese. The body itself was bloated beyond belief and super black. And it looked like somebody had taken a shovel and just removed the face. And where the face should be was just a pile of maggots just bubbling out of this cavernous aperture that was once somebody's face. And the body itself was starting to liquefy. So I don't know how long this person had been there, but it'd been a while. And it was literally physically almost impossible to even do a quick search of the place. So we're waiting on the coroner. And I mean, we're waiting down at the end of the hall outside, and we're still gagging. And here comes this old time coroner. You know, these guys have seen it all, you know, when they're in big cities and you know, that's what they do. And he's coming up. We're like, hey, brother, you know, you can smell it already, but you ain't seen nothing yet, man. You know, you're going to puke your brains out trying to get to this guy. Guy's all nonchalant. He's got his briefcase, and it's like a big case, and he's walking along, and we're like, man, prepare yourself. You know, it's brutal. And he walks in, and we follow this guy. He walks into the apartment. He doesn't even look to the left where the body is. He just heads right to the kitchen, and here comes the trick of the trade I'm going to give you. This was unbelievable. You know, my partner and I are looking at this guy like, what's he doing? And he opens up the stove, finds a frying pan in there, as if he knew it was in there. And I guess, you know, now that I think about it, I think I keep frying pans in my stove too. Strike that. I want to get it exactly right. He turns on the gas stove, so the flame's going. Opens up the oven and pulls out a frying pan, sets it on the flame, which is on high, and so it immediately starts to get red hot. And then he opens up cupboards, and he starts going through cupboards, pulls out a thing of instant coffee, you know, whatever it was, Folgers, takes the lid off, and pours a mountain of coffee onto this red-hot frying pan. Instantaneously, the smell of the dead guy was gone, and the whole place smelled like burnt coffee. It was glorious. Telling it doesn't do it justice. You had to be there. So I'm telling you guys and girls that are out there on patrol, the next time you come in across somebody that is just, you know, riper than ripe, and it's all you can do to not projectile vomit, remember this trick. Frying pan or pot on the stove, get it red hot, find any coffee will do, doesn't have to, I'm sure it'll be any coffee. And you dump it on there, and, you know, we went on to use that later on, and it's 1,000% effective. You're welcome. All right. You guys stay safe out there. LMS Tactical. I'm out.